Hello, and a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the 13th edition of the South Asian Digital Travel Conversation. Uh, Today, our topic for the evening is the new meaning of luxury, and we have some heavyweights from the luxury segment of hospitality across South Asia on our panel. And great, welcome, gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to have you with us today. At the same time, proud to introduce you to our audience. So, starting with Razeen, who's the general manager of the Grand Hotel Nuwara, Sri Lanka. He is a dynamic trendsetter in the hospitality industry and counts for more than 30 years of experience. Presently, he is the general manager of the Grand Hotel Nuwara, which is owned and managed by the Tangerine Group of Hotels. However, the majority of his career, he has been with Aitken Spence Group of Hotels, and his last stint was as the executive general manager at the Heritance Kandalama. Holding a Master of Business Administration degree from the University of Derby, UK, he has also completed Business and Organizational Psychology from Colombo Institute of Research and Psychology, Colombo. Mr. Razeen is a member of the Institute of Hospitality, UK, and an associate graduate member of Ceylon Hotel School. He is also an honorary advisor for the Omega Global and Emirates Academy. Next, we have Mr. Rajagopal Iyer, CEO, UDS Hotels. With 35 years of strong experience in the hospitality sector, Mr. Iyer has graduated in commerce and catering diploma from the PUSA in Delhi with an MBA from the Madurai Kamaraj University. He is an entrepreneur with mastery in intersection of technology, consumer marketing, entertainment, and hospitality throughout his career. His specialty is breakthrough marketing. He has built substantial improvement to the service delivery, standardization, and business systems performance as the founder of Raj Hospitality and the CEO of UDS Hotels. Next, from the Himalayas in the lovely country of Nepal, we have Rajesh Ramdas, General Manager of the Hyatt Regency Kathmandu. With over 20 years in the hospitality industry, he has worked across various functions within Rooms Division. Currently, he is working at the Hyatt Regency Kathmandu as the General Manager for the last 2 years. His last stint was with the Hyatt Regency Ludhiana in India for 3 years and also as its general manager. A hotel management graduate from the Mangalore University, he started his career with the Leela Group as a management trainee in 1995. He then joined the pre-opening team of the Burj Al Arab Dubai in 1999. He started his career with the Hyatt as Director of Rooms at Hyatt Regency Mumbai before moving to Hyatt Regency Ludhiana. And in his current role at Hyatt Regency Kathmandu, he works with a team of dedicated associates taking care of 280 rooms, newly renovated restaurants, and event venues at the property, which sprawls over 37 acres of manicured gardens. Last but not least, we have Rian Sinclair Trevor, General Manager of the Centara Grand Island Resort and Spa, Maldives. Rian is born in South Africa and has been working in the Maldives since 2012, with a break in 2015 and 16 to head up their Centara Resort in Bentota, Sri Lanka. For him, it's been about passion for this industry, especially the top end and the resort environment of the Maldives. He has worked for various properties in countries across Africa, America, Middle East, and Asia within groups such as the Orient Express, Fairmont, Movenpick, Jumeirah, and Six Senses. So all in all these guys together represent some of the finest properties across the South Asian region. And welcome to all of you who have signed in to listen to them and their take on the current situation and the challenges that they face in their respective segments. So, Raj, you've been consistently striving to make a difference to the destination through social and environmentally responsible projects. How has your company weathered during the pandemic? To what extent have your projects been affected?
To be precise, actually, let me start with to say that yes, it has been a lockdown and going very bad as far as Trivandrum is concerned, it's definitely bad. It's getting worse. Actually, Trivandrum was not affected earlier, but now it is getting into more worse situation. But I say that we are just locked down, not knocked down. So we have still opportunities there because we have two properties based in Trivandrum. One is near to the international airport, which is doing fabulously well. We do an average of 50 to 60% occupancy there because we have this crew staying there. Uday Samdar, which is a very large hotel, which is almost 227 rooms, so it is very difficult for us to see that it's been closed down. And few days we have, few rooms because out of 300 staff, we are now retaining only 60 staff because we're next to the seashore. So the maintenance levels are very, very high. So we have to make sure that every rooms are open and cleaned up. Restaurants are open. We have almost 5 outlets, and so it's very tough for us to maintain this because last 3 months the occupancy maybe like March we did okay. April was maybe 10 to 20%, and May again 15 to 20%. And June has been very bad again. July again it is very bad because we thought some bookings were coming in and it is getting cancelled. We have some weddings happening in both the properties here and there, small weddings, but it is definitely affected very badly. But as far as the destination is concerned, because we have been working very hard as far as the destination is concerned, because we would like to make sure that Kovalam has to come back into the golden days of earlier days where Kovalam used to be one of the most important destination as far as the tourism, especially for all the foreigners. So we're working very hard on it. So we have lots of active activities. What we do basically is like we do something called Ocean Love. So we keep cleaning the beaches whenever we have time. Like we have schedules done, but recently last 3-4 months we could not do that. But then we have schedules every Monday we clean up the beaches, etc. So we have also doing beach cleanings from Kanyakumari to Kasaragod. At least 2 to 3 times we have done that also. And we have this Ocean Day celebrated every year where we do try to educate the children from various schools to see that how this ocean is to be given importance, etc. We do a lot of activities based on ocean. We do ocean seminars, we do ocean days, ocean cleaning, etc. We have something called Green Leaders to make sure that this environment has been kept in mind, and we keep doing a lot of activity in the schools where we do plantings and do vegetable gardens, kitchen gardens, etc. The schools, etc. And the destination promotion, we last 3 years we are trying to support Kovalam, the most important players. I will say my partners in Kovalam, like the taxi drivers, the rickshaw drivers, the fruit sellers, the beach cleaners. So we try to recognize the best out of them, and we award them every year so that they are motivated and so that they do better job, because most of the people are not appreciated at all. So people do not know who are these people who are cleaning up the beaches and all. We try to work out those areas, so we keep promoting those people also. And of course, now because of this recent issues, we are starting our facility management, where because we are ready to go and clean up houses and offices, shopping malls and all. So the facility, because we have team, so where we can maybe go and clean up the 5-star cleaning can be given to them on an annual contract basis or a monthly contract basis. We can do something like that. We have been feeding the stray dogs recently. We are trying to some of the stray dogs have been feeded by us. And also like frontline, when I say that the doctors and police people, we have been coming out with the food kits to them. We're not popularizing because we're doing it very silently. We go and support them also and keep doing it. So apart from that, a lot of other activities we are doing. For example, because there's a 227 rooms, out of that 10 rooms have been made as a in-house the dining part, where the non-residents can come and do dining because it's more safe. You have a private room, you have a private toilet, so people are safe. So we have been doing that. So a lot of innovations are doing, because we are trying to do a lot of innovation because to make sure that we are active enough, because otherwise occupancy and the business are not going to come up. So but then we would like to make ourselves very active, especially we give the food parcels, those kind of activities also. Yeah,
I do. I do understand. Like, because most of these activities have been one of the strong areas where you were attracting most of your clients, and they clearly appreciated all these activities that you were doing. And it's good to know that you still keep doing it. Because definitely, when your clients think about coming back, they'll also be happy that you not let it go and you're still at it.
Absolutely.
Right. That's good. So now, Refhan, what are the positives and the opportunities that you have been able to gather during this pandemic in terms of the luxury segment that you're operating in?
I think the new meaning of luxury. I think the buzzword today is health and safety. Is the new generation clean, which is being called the new generation clean. If you see, there is no age, there is no gender. I think everyone is looking for this new meaning of luxury as health and safety. I think if you really see the topic today is the new meaning of luxury, I think the luxury should be felt. I think the luxury should be original. The luxury should be crafted. The luxury should be rare. The luxury should be lived in the present. And luxury should be elegant and timeless. Luxury should be told. Luxury should be genuine, and the luxury should be the brand. I think the positiveness that we took at the Grand Hotel is from maximum occupancy to the personal space. As I just told, at the moment we are just doing the trading for the domestic tourism, which we get we do have about 154 rooms from that 50%. So we have more space for guests to dine, the social distancing, the hygiene, and also the guests has a better luxury when it comes for dining and the space that they are moving around in the hotel, etc. and etc. So that has given a lot of new learning for all of us, how to serve. And we don't have buffets. We call it the buffet a la carte. If you see, most of them are, because at the Grand Hotels, we do have 10 dining experiences. But when it comes for breakfast, where all the guests come for the main restaurant, that's where the buffet a la carte is being very well patronized. So this is an area that the guests will never get an opportunity to serve by themselves. There is a staff who serve it to them, and they are being called the buffet ambassadors, so that you don't get them to get connected. Even right now, we do have the omelette stations. The guest doesn't need to stand in front of an omelette station. Guests will just come and ask for which omelette they want, and this will be served to the table. So they don't need to stand. So we learned some new areas in that area as well. When it comes to sustainability versus sanitization. So if you really see, sustainability is the way forward in life and in our industry as well. But there is something new, thing has come in, and there is a cost also involved for that. Right? So the main thing is how you manage that cost to take it forward. And we have done a lot of training. I think our staff has been gone through some training on this. We did a manual on hygiene, a protocol manual on hygiene with the support of the health ministry and the tourism ministry in Sri Lanka. So with that, we put our areas as well, and we came out with a plan, and we wanted all staff to go on a training program. It was a one-day program in small teams with our learning and development manager, and where they need to go through that program and they need to sit for an exam. And they need to get 80 marks. When they get 80 marks, they will be given a certificate so that they are ready to serve this new way of life, or the new the service that we are talking about. So that has given us a lot of new ways of looking. Then if you really see, there is a lot on technology has come in. The QR system and all that has come in. Well, even our menus on all restaurants and bars are on QR system. So the guests can just QR their system so that they can see the menus, so they don't touch any menus in the future as well. So we will continue this as well. When it comes to the room, even the room directory is also being QR. Even the general manager's letter is personalized, but it's QR. so that you are not putting any letters to the room on this thing. So that the technology has come in a long way. Even we send on the reservations itself, we send them the house rules of the hotel, how to come in. There is a temperature check, the washing hands in the reception, all that is being. So they have been well prepared when they come for the holiday as well. The face mask which they will wear in the public area, etc. and etc. So that's all been given. So I think we have learned a lot from this new pandemic as well, and that has become very easy for us. And the staff is also learning very fast on this new uh, service style as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Refhan. That's quite interesting. And I also believe that gives you a good head start when you're dealing with the domestic tourism and putting across all these new methods of hospitality that you can put to practice, and then you'll be geared to receive foreign tourists when they come in. So, yes, moving on to Rajesh, achieving and maintaining a consistently high customer service is a must in the luxury hospitality segment. And what has been your approach in discovering, nurturing, and motivating talent? And especially with this current scenario, definitely it requires a lot of motivation to keep your already experienced or trained, people with you, and even more, like keep them very close to you, so that when things become better, as we all hope, you still have them there to like receive and take care of your guests as they come in.
Yeah, I think people make the biggest difference in our industry, and to have the best run that business makes more sense. In the last 20 plus years, what I've understood is that people need opportunities to showcase their talent. So I sort of have come to believe that you can categorize them into three different segments. One being the smallest proportion, where they are they're people who have this inherent desire to sort of excel and push themselves and do best. So all they need is an opportunity. So even if they see the smallest of opportunity, they'll pick it up and then they do their best, and that way they showcase their talent and are noticed time and again. What this group needs is just pure guidance, some exposure, and stretch targets where they can showcase themselves. The second type is the one who need to be discovered sometimes or be given opportunities. These people would normally not come and ask for it, but if given one, the ones that do very well, they shine, and then based on their experience of having done well, they push themselves to do even better. So that's the second lot. The last lot, which is the major chunk I see wherever I've worked, is that they do not want to be moved from their comfort zone. They're happy in the way they are, but you get some of those really good people who are those uncut diamonds. When put in situations, they come out with their best. This is where they realize their own potential, because they've never pushed themselves before. So they realize the potential, and it comes out. Also, what I've been doing the last sort of couple of years is that we're trying to get more women into the leadership role, because I feel they make the biggest of difference to a team dynamic when it comes to a leadership committee or running certain departments. They have this ability to multitask quite a bit, much more than us, and also the empathy factor comes out very naturally for them. So all in all, I'd say that people need opportunities, and you give them opportunities, and some of them grab it firsthand, the others, reluctantly. But as and when they do well for themselves, they really come out and shine and push themselves. So it becomes easy for us to notice and groom them to positions that they'd like to be in generally. And all in all, if somebody is ready 70%, I think they should be given that responsibility, because eventually, people step up to do their best once given that responsibility. Yeah. So in these taxing times, yes, it's very important to keep people closest to you. Keep them engaged as best as possible. Keep them on, even if the hotels are closed. Make sure they're part of a team which is contributing and getting ready for future openings. So yeah, we're sort of engaging in different ways with them currently.
All right. Thank you, Rajesh. Rian, during the pandemic, Centara Hotels and Resorts have been offering guests with a complete peace of mind, from waiving off cancellation fees in affected countries, and has remained very flexible with the bookings and your services that are being offered. What has been your approach about ensuring the utmost safety of both your clients as well as your staff during these times?
I think, Centara has always been partnered with companies like SGS, Ecolab, third-party auditors that would be responsible for our HACCP audits and these sort of ones. So we continue that partnership with them. And, firstly, starting with the staff, it's always important that your staff has to be trained according to every policy that you run in the property. They have to be communicated that policy. It has to be transparent, whether in-house, whether ahead of time in terms of training, whether it be orientation or departmental training. The guest needs to feel that the team that is serving them, that is looking after them, is confident in what they're doing, correct? So we start with that, ensuring that the team obviously is well aware and trained. So we've reiterated that training, and we've got some new chemical training or some new policies that's coming in, whether it be the social distancing or more regular cleaning of the spaces, the high touch zones. So all of those particular training, the team here, they've been on the island since we've closed. Not everybody's been able to go home. So, and our team in Bangkok have been hard busy with new SOPs. We've been busy with local SOPs here to make sure the staff is ready and feel confident enough, and they themselves feel secure enough about what the company is doing to look after them as well. And obviously with the guests, we've communicated the Centara Complete Care program with them. So the guest that is coming to us, they already know that this particular program has been put in place. We have done a video, which actually our CEO showcases what that means for us, from one of our flagship properties in Bangkok. And it's reassuring the guests, reassuring the team that we're doing it. I think we should not forget that hotels have always been actually following high levels of hygiene practice, for instance, whether it's HACCP, whether it's the chemical use in the rooms, whether it's food safe chemicals that we use. We've always followed it. Do we have to be a bit more transparent about those now? Yes. Do we have to actually walk the walk or walk the talk? We have to. We have to just be a little bit more transparent. We have to make sure that we can show the guests, not just tell the guests what we're doing. And of course, in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of extra things like the masks, the distancing, the times in the restaurants, the times at the pool or the gyms. There's various factors that will come into play that we have to action that's maybe a little bit different from before. But I think all of our guests and all of our team will appreciate that, knowing that it's for their safety also. So.
Thank you. Raj, coming to you again, UDS has always been at the forefront of coming out with very innovative dining experiences, and I've constantly seen that from time to time you come up and try out very different, unique experiences and offer them to your guests. Under these circumstances, how do you how has guest dining changed during the pandemic? How has it been for you?
Thank you. It's a wonderful question. But the thing is that actually we don't have so much of guests at the moment. But yes, as we are mentally prepared, and few guests have definitely come in. As I said in the beginning itself, that out of 227 rooms, 10 rooms have been made exclusively as exclusive dining rooms. So the even a client who you can just come and have a drink and maybe you can come and have a proper meal. But then it is very interestingly made because we have come up with a lot of innovative packages now, because for minimum 10 people can maximum 10 people can come into the room, where we have come out with, like, you have birthday parties, you have 60th what do you call, the birthdays of the grandmothers, something like that. And then you have the wedding anniversaries, the romantic candlelight dinners. All this can be done in these rooms now, rather than we were actually doing all this in the lawns and outside, which has been totally restricted. And we have come out with a lot of different concepts. The staff themselves, because some of the rooms we have 2 doors, so you can come from the front and go from the back also. So that, because we have staff coming from the front and the guest goes from the back, so that kind of situation we have created. Well, we have all the face shields and the mask, proper gloves have been introduced, and the tray itself has been properly sanitized. So we have the menus also. We don't have too many menus at the moment. We have almost come out with a proper standardized the menu, as rightly said by our Sri Lankan partner. We have all this QR systems, and the menus can be chosen. When you book your the room itself, in the sense we send them across the menu, so they can choose the menu what they want, so that we can make sure that it's been freshly made for them, rather than we don't operate any of our freezers now. So it's all, we have a small fridge only. We make materials, we keep the materials only for that particular day. So everything is fresh, including the ingredients are fresh. So early days, because we have large operations, so you have to definitely store things and all. We don't store anything at the moment. So the guest gets absolutely fresh fish, fresh chicken, and the fresh grinded the Indian spices. So, really the flavors are going to be exotic, and again, the customer gets a totally different experience, because the service is going to be one-to-one, because we have 2 people handling exclusively each room. It's not that we have, everyone is coming and going. So every room we are given 2 staff. So if the 10 rooms are occupied for the non-resident guests also, we have 20 staff handling them with the care. And with all this the hygiene concept, what we have introduced by the new normals, etc., has been taken care. This is what we are doing. But then now, because this is not enough for us, so we are coming out with more active ideas. Like, for example, we are starting up from 1st August onwards. Some concept what we're doing is that no one has done something called the cocktails and mocktails. And now, especially because in Kerala, during Ayurveda, we call this as a Karkataka Masam, which is an exclusive month for Ayurveda. So we have come out with, instead of, they call Karkataka Kanji. That's what is the concept normally. It's a rice kind of a kind of a pudding. I will not say pudding, but this is a kind of a rice, so made out of rice and other herbs and all has been put up. But now this is what we've done, is actually we come out with the immunity booster mocktails, which will be, available. You can just order and it will be sent across to you. And it's all frozen, which can be sent across. Cocktail mix we have come out with. We're starting the online cookery classes from 1st of August onwards for the catering college. We're trying to talk to the catering college and try to see that we can support them also. And also we have Zoom, kind of a Zoom dining, where we have some exclusive customers who are regularly coming. So we are exchanging our recipes with them. So we are teaching them some recipes. We're taking some recipes from them. So it's going to be just like what we're talking now. So we will be having a Zoom kind of a cookery courses, etc. So other areas wise, because as I said in the beginning, we may not be able to do a big show, but then we are doing small things in a more beautiful way. Especially, I said, we call about this mock weddings. We are doing small, not the mass weddings. We are doing now this mask weddings. Only 50 people client coming in. Very exclusively, people have been taken care. So we are moving on. So we had a lot of bookings which have been called cancer. We had 2,000 people weddings and all have become 50 people wedding. So we have changed the complete concept from the entrance itself, the dining experiences, and by the time the guest goes back, the kind of experience what they get is it's an amazing experience. Earlier days we were good, but I think we have now become better, and giving more care to the customers. This is what we are doing at the moment. Yes.
Thank you, Raj. Refhan, with the staff being laid off in various ways across the tourism industry, what should companies communicate to ensure that they will be able to rehire the staff to ensure the same levels of customer service which was the norm prior to the pandemic?
Yes, I think let me take the Grand Hotel. We didn't lay off any staff at the Grand Hotel. When the lockdown happened in Sri Lanka on the 17th of March, we were closed for 78 days till June 10th. So we took a stand that we are not going to send anyone home. So within 2 days of the lockdown, our chairman came to the hotel also and gave us a big boost, saying that he will take care of all of us and that he will not lay anyone to be at home. Even the hotel school staff, the trainees, the contractual staff, all were kept. What we did was we broke into three teams. We had one team at home and one team was on training and development and the other team was on the product development. So what we really did was we got the maximum out of these 78 days to take our hotel to the next level. We raised the bar in the service on training so that every staff went through about 70 hours of training with these 78 days. And if you really see the product, we got a lot of, even the rooms were refurbished. So we got a lot of things done, the garden, etc. and etc. And even we redid a lot of things on our menu. We re-engineered our menus to be better. When the hotel is open, then we planned the arrival experience, which we had before and after the pandemic, how to have a better arrival experience and a departure experience as well, a new departure experience. So the guests who have been to our hotel will see a total different thing. And as the general manager, what I did, I had a one-to-one chat with all the staff for about 15 minutes or more. Some went for more than half an hour, just to see how they are at home. Because this 78 days was very tough, we all know. What we did was, so we had a better chat with them to have a better understanding and tell them, you know, there will be nothing going wrong from our end to you all. So this helped us to be more closer, a more family type of thing, so that it helped us to be better understanding of the whole thing. And then we got into the staff also gave their not 100%, 200% to the hotel, because at this time their salaries was not cut, their jobs was not cut, their other areas things were done. So this gave us a lot of benefits as well to open the hotel also a little bit early than what we expected. And when you see, we got into a lot of other systems as well, like the ISO 9001, which is quality management. We applied for this ISO 9001, and we are almost there now. We just want to do an internal audit and then the audit done for ISO 9000. Then the travel life, also the sustainability thing, we are almost there with that as well. Then we got this thing done, and we are now going with there is a certification which we are working around for the COVID-19 in Sri Lanka with the tourist board, and we are there also with that. So we are ready to with these 3 certifications as well. So staff, everyone is being engaged, so that this has given a lot of insight to other hoteliers also in Sri Lanka, that as if you keep them at home or you cut their salary or you just take them out, the first thing anyone will do is take the staff out if anything goes wrong. But my boss, Mr. Gerard Undachi, the chairman, is very much close to the staff. But he always says, let's look after the staff. The staff will look after the guests. So that's the mentality that we all have at the moment. And I think that has helped us to be different in the whole industry, to see the things differently. And we are on a daily basis, you know, we do a lot of different things in the dining experience as well. We do have 10 dining experience, but we do have some extra different dining experience. We have revamped it because we are a colonial old hotel This was the 5th governor when the British was ruling us. His residence for 66 years and a hotel has 129 years. Altogether, our building is 200 years old. So if you really see, we do have a boiler. We do a boiler dinner in the boiler room. We converted that into a world-class dinner. So that's kind of a new experience that's come in. Then we do a dinner in the laundry, a working laundry. We do a dinner on our working laundry. We refurbished the main kitchen. Now it's called the culinary studio. We do have a dining experience in the kitchen as well, a small restaurant. You know, it's called, it's a chef table, but it's a teppanyaki chef table, where 4 people can dine for lunch and dinner. Now the Sri Lankans are very much on these new dining experiences that we are going through. So it has given us to train the staff also to be different in this experience and etc. And when it comes to hotel schools and all that also, our department heads does a lot of online training for the hotel schools and around to make sure that we want to make sure that those students also be there when the hotel is open for us to take back for training and etc. and etc. So that has helped us to be different. So this has given us to be different also in the industry in Sri Lanka.
That's really wonderful. I mean, like quite an interesting experience that you've put together. And probably when this is all over and traveling in Sri Lanka, I'll definitely sign up for one of those. Quite interesting in the way you put it. Like especially, you know, I would like to dine in a working laundry and see how it is. So yes, coming to you, Rajesh. What are the key operational elements that luxury hoteliers should consider before opening post the pandemic?
Well, I've had the last couple of months to sit and contemplate on what needs to get done before we open. As Hyatt, there is accreditation that we're taking from an agency called GBAC, which is Global Biorisk Advisory Council. So this sort of certifies that, you know, we are following all international norms in terms of running a hotel. The second being that the element of human error has to be marginalized, because this is where, in terms of service delivery, it would make the biggest of difference. Because there's a lot of things that have come in terms of safety and cleanliness. So to be able to deliver consistently will be the name of the game as of now. So I think having checks and balances and doing coaching regularly would be very, very important. Other than that, there is a hygiene and a well-being leader in the hotel. So this person, it could be for hygiene as such, it will be a hygiene manager, but for well-being, it's somebody who's specifically chosen from the leadership committee. And they look after their part of how, you know, of looking at processes and if they are being followed, having a sort of third eye and making sure things are getting done the proper way. The next one would be being prepared for varied situations. What will happen is that we would operate in a very different way, and the expectation from the guest would also be up to a certain, you know, then when you come into a hotel, it needs to be of a certain level. So role plays are how I would see this would change, because what happens is when you give somebody a training session and, you know, you just put up slides in front of that person, I don't think much of it retains in the head. So when you do role plays of how they would have to answer or how they would have to deal with situations, they'll remember those things for a much longer time. And feedback from guests on adherence of new norms, that's something I think we would want to actively take during the stay and after the stay. Of course, TripAdvisor is going to be a big element, I think, because that's one space us hoteliers will have to watch out for, because most of how we deliver will be written up there or rated. So we'll have to be looking out for that. Then mystery audits. I am a very firm believer that we need to have mystery audits of our own. Inspect what you expect is what I believe. So we'll have to constantly keep checking time and again if things are being followed as expected when they're, you know, when colleagues are not being looked at. Of course, the last thing is that not to overcomplicate processes, because things need to be kept very simple and easy for colleagues to remember on a daily basis. Whatever they're going to do is almost going to be robotic, because we are humans, we make mistakes. But with the new protocols that are coming into place, it's almost going to be robotic. So we'll have to make things as simple as possible that it can be replicated consistently on a daily basis. So I think these are pretty much some of the important things that we'd keep in mind before we open.
Thank you there. To you, Rian, with the pandemic, do you think the wealthy consumers will perceive luxury differently going forward? And what is your take on that? Would they have any different expectations from now?
I think the wealthy clients, I mean, if you have a look, travel, I think it was Business Insider last year, they did a collective survey with 100x millionaires to ask top 5 things that ranks important for them in terms of spending their money. Travel has always been on the top. I think travel has become important for a lot of people, whether young, in terms of building experiences. So I think for the wealthy client, that remains the same thing. How to, not just purchase items, they can afford many things, but it's about the experience. Now, when we're talking about the experience, of course, the wealthier clients, they enjoy some of the more, simplicity elements, whereby, exactly like Rajesh said, sometimes we can overcomplicate things. So we're going to have to be careful to go into an apocalyptic, nuclear hospital running mode in terms of our operations. And we have to remember that we're still hoteliers and we still service focused people and we still catering to hospitality. So when we're dealing, whether it's with our wealthy client, whether it's with our normal guests, actually, we should just keep it simple in the sense of giving the surety of safety, that the guest knows what we are doing for them to look after them. When we look at the wealthy client, of course, they can afford to maybe come business class, first class, private jet. They can perhaps travel with their own butlers or their own staff. They can afford bigger villas, something that the Maldives has always been catering for anyway. And this is, I think, if you have a look in the first few days, obviously the resorts that is ready to cater to these type of clients is the ones that is focusing on the top tier of luxury, for instance. But I don't think anything different other than what they've expected before. For a bit of simplicity, I think a lot of wealthy people come either from celebrity status, where they're constantly in the public eye, so they want to escape. Same thing with the executives, somebody that is maybe high up the corporate ladder. They deal with so much, day-to-day paper, red tape, things like this. So when they go on holiday, when they want to have their experiences, when they want to spend time with the family, that should be the focus. So it's going to be up to us to make sure that we don't overcomplicate their experiences by this form, that form, don't touch this, don't do like that, you can't have this service, can't have that service. It'll be up to us to make sure that we can still deliver everything, but give them the surety of safety.
All right. Raj, now hotels are taking drastic changes to their services and the products that they offer. Where do you think hoteliers should focus right now in terms of high-end luxury segment and high value luxury clients?
I think my colleagues have already said about it. Both of them from Nepal and also from Sri Lanka, they have been very clear about what they're doing. I think it is this is what we are also trying to do now. As I'm sure that because everyone has done a new normal, we have come out with our own Bible, I would say a service Bible kind of stuff, which is we are training up our staff onto that. As he rightly said in the beginning, from reservation onwards, check-in experiences, staying experiences, dining experiences, checkout experiences, all this has definitely changed. It is not the same anymore. So, so we are working very hard on it. And especially like I'm sure like most of you have definitely come out with 100 checkpoints or 200 checkpoints, I don't know, but we have come out with something called 100 checkpoints at the moment. And entire focus will be on reducing the common checkpoints as much as possible and sanitizing the remaining ones. That's what we are doing. To seamless operations, hospitality companies, we're collaborating with the cleaning companies to try come and do the training part to our staff, especially with the housekeeping staff. We're trying to change the housekeeping staff with a proper caps being given to them. Housekeeping caps have been introduced now. We will be trying to give that. They're not started, but then we have mentally prepared and kept ready for all this operation once they start. And hotels are actually moving from aesthetically clean to the clinically clean, as everyone has been talked about it. So we are also working very seriously about it. New chemicals have been found. We're trying to work on those new chemicals. From the security level, the staff checkpoint, staff toilets, the staff changing rooms, the staff cafeteria. Why I'm talking all this is because I think these back areas, including the staff staying, the accommodation, these back areas we are giving more importance, so that because this is what can come as a delivery to the customer. Because if my back area is not going to be perfect, I'm sure the clients cannot be given those kind of services. So we are working very seriously on those areas. And of course, we have spoken to some company, like especially the Diversity, the company who have this. They come out. I think they're coming out with a pillow which is washable, and you can sanitize it and reuse it also. So we are coming out with such. We're reworking on to new innovations as far as the services are concerned. What we can give, how we can give, how we can pack it and give it to them. So maximum less of contacts with the customers. Room service, as I'm sure everyone is doing, it is a contact less room service where we are keeping all the food outside. So I think a lot of things has been worked out as well, which has been done by everyone. Linen, which is going to play a major role, which is more important as far as linen is concerned, there where we are giving more importance. As far as our laundries are concerned, we're trying to change these chemicals. We're talking to our suppliers who are going to come out with new chemicals and all that. We're trying to work on those areas. And of course, things are different because we have come out with the proper normals, which are like a Bible now. Everywhere, even the staff at the moment who are coming in the offices, they have rules and regulations, what they're supposed to do and all. So I think mentally, rather than, as someone rightly said, that it is not about talking to do, but it has to be done. We can have all these ideas and thoughts in our books, but unless until it has been implemented, it is not going to work out. Now the customer, even because everyone is asking for discount, even those customers who are going to come in, they are definitely going to, they have heard about so many things, so many hotels are coming out with so many concepts and all that. So the guests who are going to come and stay are not going to be the same way they were looking at the properties earlier. They will definitely be more careful to see that, what they really talk. Like for example, our friend from Sri Lanka said that we send the mailers to them before check-in. We tell them these are the rules, regulations, these are the way, what you do, this, that, and all this. But are this been implemented? Again, one of the colleagues said about doing the mystery audit kind of stuff. So are we doing it? So this is all. So we have been working very seriously about all this to make sure that the customer is not going to be the same way where he has behaved earlier. Maybe when he's going to be in the swimming pool, when he's going to go to the spa, we're going to go to the Ayurveda, especially where Ayurveda and spa, you're going to touch the client directly. So you're going to make them touch. So these are the areas where we have to really work very seriously to see that how this kind of care and services are given. So we are really working hard on it and make sure that the customer definitely goes back with happiness as far as the service is concerned. Of course, the kind of care and hospitality is given to them. And of course, the most important is the kind of hygiene and the other sanitized areas have been maintained. This is where we are working on it at the moment. Yes.
Refhan, how do you see the future of MICE activities and what changes should be adopted in terms of healthy MICE and business congregations that you have been handling earlier?
I think the MICE represent about 15% of the total tourism. if you really see, it is evidence that MICE tourism will go into a coma very soon, or it will on a coma. Why I said that is, if you see, the Olympic is postponed, the IPL is being postponed. If you see, the Wimbledon tennis is being postponed, and the big festivals are being postponed. So it will take some time to have this MICE tourism to come back. But if you see in a small way at the Grand Hotel, last weekend we had 75 rooms from Rotary. And what we did was we tailor-made this MICE tourism for them to have it for 2 days, where we had some outdoor space for them, where they can have, where they didn't want to have projectors, etc. and etc. It's all outdoor activities, etc. So it will take some time for them to get settled for MICE tourism. With this, because it's crowded, you need space for that to do. But we still can do it in small ways. In about 50 to 75 rooms can be done, so that there is more space that we can handle for MICE tourism. And we have 3 more conferences been lined up for the next month in August. There is a doctors reunion sort of a thing. They want to have it here. So these kind of things are happening at the moment. But what we really want to pitch is how to handle a large group with these hygiene best practices, but we are going through it. But I think we came through last week very well, because we also mentioned to them what we want to do, etc. and etc. And they're very supportive of the whole thing. And even the corporates, they really want to come out, because they also need to get back to normal and all that. So they are looking for these kind of activities and how they also can be tailor-made the way they want. And they also have different requirements as well with the MICE things coming up. So I think it will take a little bit of time to really improve on the MICE business. As I said, all these big events have been postponed and etc. and etc. So that will not give us business for some time. But we are just managing the domestic, the MICE business right now.
Right. Rajesh, like now the luxury hotel business, has been like one of the prime segments of the hospitality industry, and it's always very vibrant and quite active. Going forward, the new luxury that we've been discussing, where hygiene and safety is a major part, and what do you think would be the expectations of luxury clientele going forward? Like, is it just what we think, or how can you put your finger on the pulse of what the client would be expecting post COVID, and gear yourselves up for that? I know it's a tricky question and a tricky situation with probably but then don't you think that is very vital for the industry to be aware of going forward?
Yeah, Suraj, if we knew what was happening, a couple of months ahead in these times, we'd be minting money for sure. But for now, as you said, the pulse, if you feel the pulse, what is it that you feel? What do you see and understand? Well, from my side, I'd say that relevance to luxury is even more in these difficult times, for sure. And I recently read somewhere, almost like a quote, where it says, the new luxury is finding the answer to the question. And the question is, what are you searching for when you travel? That is going to be most relevant, because people are who've been tied up into into their places where they have not been able to move. And unlike olden times where travel was only once in a year, now it's every 2 months, 3 months people take breaks. So how is that going to be? I think people will be very, very specific of what they want. Experiences, of course, they'd want to go for experiences. Privacy is one of the biggest that I foresee. People who can afford and who travel luxury would want to go into places which give them that privacy and is not in a crowded space, not in hotels. There are structures by themselves and everything is inside. it could be places where it's spread out. That's where I find property like ours being very relevant with 37 acres of land, that, you know, they have that freedom to move around and be comfortable for that break that they are taking. So hotels that are unique in their sort of, in terms of location, and are maybe some of them that are secluded, could be top draw is what I think. Personalized experiences for sure, that's been the case for luxury travel. But even more, when when people travel with families, there will be a set of expectation, and also when they travel with friends, because right now what I understand is that when you're closeted in your house and you're not able to move out as easily and get together with friends, so now people would want to travel with that close set of friends that they're comfortable with. They know that, you know, these are a set of people that we'd like to travel together. So personalized experiences would count in these times. And of course, needless to say, we've always mentioned this and we've said this, that contactless and cleanliness are highest on the list. Of course, everyone's going that way and it will continue. And this segment that travels luxury wants to be sure that you've got their back 100% in terms of contactless and cleanliness. So I think, yes, this is what I feel for now. There could be changes of what is expected, and we'll also see new things coming up as people travel, and, you know, things that maybe we would not have completely thought about, because with changing times, expectations are also there, will grow as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Rian, Maldives opening up to the travel trade, as we discussed in the beginning. How do you forecast the travel trend? You know, are we expecting more long stays? Do you foresee people like coming and staying for more than 2 weeks, or, you know, more like a quick splash and dash kind of a thing, just get a quick fix for their, you know, that much needed break they want to get? Do you have any thoughts on those?
I tell you, I think it's one of the most extremely difficult things for Maldives at the moment. You know, unlike my counterparts here, Maldives have zero domestic travel, for instance, correct? We've got hardly any domestic MICE or conferencing or anything in that sense, you know, local businesses that we can support in terms of catering or things like this. So I think for Maldives, it's really difficult. It's very much going to depend on which markets are opening to allow people to travel here. The seasons are so messed up at the moment. You know, traditionally we would easily be able to say, this is Asian season, this is our Western season. You know, we are seeing more families now because it's school holidays in Australia or wherever, right? But I mean, we know the school years have been messed up. You know, corporate operations have been messed up. So I think initially probably what we will see is I doubt if we will see families as such. Maybe more couples. I think if I looked on the first flight that came in, there was a bit more couples, you know, very random countries that, you know, Turkey was high on the list. For instance, America was high on the list in terms of numbers of people that came in. I think it's going to be very much people that maybe have their own businesses that is able to travel. I know for a fact we've had some guests which inquired to work from home, but our home. So meaning that they are entitled by company to work from home till the end of the year. So, you know, whether it's their home or our home, better probably ours, you know. Here they can walk around and go snorkel and go swim and things like this. I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult for us to forecast. And, you know, we've got budget season right on our heels at the moment for Santara. And yes, everything is up in the air. It's extremely difficult to say what's going to happen in the next few months. What's going to happen in next year, even, you know, is it going to boost back up? You know, are we going to maybe see China, which allegedly now with their GDP is seeing a V sort of shape in terms of recovery? Will we see that everywhere else? I'm not sure. It really depends on which countries are going to have the bilateral agreements and to support each other, where properties have the benefit of local business. Maybe like Refhan said, I'm not sure if that's going to be conferencing business unless it is where maybe some corporations have very congested offices and they need some more spaces to meet where the social distancing can be followed. I don't know. It's a very difficult thing at the moment. We're continuously talking to the agents and our partners and our various sales offices around the globe to see what feedback they're getting. But as with the time pre-closing, things are changing. Sometimes 24 hours, 1 week. 1 week it's this, the next week it's that. So I think at the moment, everybody has to stay well aware of everything that's happening and just strategize around what we've got, information that we've got.
Right. Thank you, gentlemen. I think it was a great round of discussions, and you had put forward some really interesting, innovative ways of handling this situation. And it's good to see that all of you have keeping your energy and your positivity really high, and still cracking at the whole challenges that's been thrown at you in this unforeseen situation. And that's what keeps this industry like always bubbling and vibrant and like always on the toes and bringing out the best and offering the best for the whole world, and for your clients. Wish you all the best, and thank you once again for accepting our invitation to come and share your thoughts and views on the startup platform. Hope to see you all soon somewhere, in the near future. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Suraj. Thank you.